I lost thousands in 1 month, right? Not because my strategy was wrong or not because my psychology was wrong. It's because I was taking trades that were outside of my plan, okay? And I lost a lot of money, all right? And I'm going to show you how exactly to avoid that and how you never run into it yourself. More trades does not equal more money, okay? It's a very simple concept, but a lot of people don't understand this. In trading, the more you work, right? People think the more you'll get out of it, okay? It's not like any other business where the more you work, the better your results are. In trading, almost the less you do, the better your results are, right? The more money you'll make, all right? So most traders think that activity equals progress. They always feel like they have to be doing something, right? They got to be looking at the charts. They got to be taking trades that they shouldn't really be in, Like they feel like they need activity. They need to do something for there to be progress, okay? And that's a natural feeling. Everyone would feel it. That's the same as business, the same as any other thing in your life, in your job, business, anything you do. The more work you do, the better the reward, right? Funnily enough, in trading, it's the complete opposite, okay? More setups taken equals more chances to lose, all right? If you're taking setups that are not a part of your plan at all, then you're going to lose, all right? You're not going to be profitable. That's not where your edge is, all right? So you're going to end up losing, all right? The market, it rewards patience, okay? Not effort, all right? The market doesn't care how much effort and time you've put into this. It rewards patience, okay? It rewards taking your A+ setups and pretty much nothing else, right? Only setups that fit your plan, okay? There's no B grade setups here. B grade setups are just a no, okay? You won't be profitable that way, all right? You got to take setups that only follow your plan, okay? 100 trades could be less money than even just taking 10 trades would be, okay? The concept of more trades here, like 100 trades here, more trades doesn't always mean that you're going to make more money, all right? Something like 10 trades could make far more than 100 trades. If these 100 trades are just simply not a part of your plan, all right? So more trades does not equal more money, all right? What does overtrading actually look like, all right? Overtrading, I went through this. This was the worst part of my trading career. I just traded a whole lot when I shouldn't have, all right? I took setups that I wasn't meant to take. I overtraded and I lost a lot of money, all right? So what does it actually look like? Low quality setups that do not match your playbook, right? If it doesn't fit your plan or your system, you don't take it, okay? It's not a part of your system. It's not a part of your plan. You simply don't take it, right? Trade frequency spikes and the discipline disappears, right? If you're averaging like 10 to 20 trades a month, then if you're taking, let's say 40 in your next month, like that's not a part of your plan at all, right? That your average is 10 to 20 a month and you've been profitable that way. And then all of a sudden next month and the next 2 months, you're taking 40 plus trades a month, okay? That's totally out of control. That's not what you do, all right? You should be within your range or within your profitable range, right? Or you've back tested what you've traded with previously profitably, right? That's what you got to do, okay? And that's how you can find it. You can see it through your trade frequency. If that's spiking by a lot, right? If that's shooting up, then you're doing something wrong, all right? You're not sticking to your plan. You're not following what your profitable months have looked like, all right? One bad trade, it can trigger the next one, all right? So stuff like revenge trading and all that kind of stuff can fall into overtrading. They all almost mean the same thing, just different wording really, but it can really trigger the wrong things, right? So we can see you're taking one bad trade. That's not a part of your plan, all right? And the next thing you want to do is you want to make it back, okay? So you want to make it back your revenge trade, all right? Your revenge trade, it loses, all right? This bad trade loses, this revenge trade loses. You go to the next best thing, all right? And which is a random setup, okay? It's a B grade setup. It's not the best trade, but there's only one part of your plan that's not followed. So it means basically the rest of your plan is followed, right? That's what your brain thinks. Random setup, X, all right? That's a no. It loses, all right? And then next thing you know, you've blown your funded, your personal account is in negative 20% drawdown, right? Your equity curve looked like this at the start, and now it looks like this, all right? You've just overtraded way too much, okay? It'd be looking more like this, right? You can tell here that there are less trades than there are here, all right? That's what your equity curve will look like. And that's how it can all spiral out of control, right? So that's what overtrading looks like. The psychology shift that no one talks about, right? Nobody talks about this. When you're desperate to make your money back, you make worse decisions, okay? When there's genuine money on the line, it's your own money on the line. Of course, seeing this in your equity curve, that's going to hurt, all right? You're not going to want to see that at all, okay? You're not going to want to see those red figures of negative, however much you're trading with 200, negative 200, right? Just gets worse and worse, okay? No one wants to see that, right? Which is fair enough. But that's the issue. When you're scared to lose, you can't execute your plan properly, okay? If you're scared to lose what you're actually risking, so if you're risking, let's say $500 per trade, if you're scared to lose that, just lose even just $500, then you're risking way too much, all right? That's that's screwing with your trade plan. That's screwing with your system and everything in general. All right, you're too scared. You're not going to be able to execute your plan properly. You're either gonna take too many trades, trying to win it back, revenge trade, all that kind of stuff. So being scared to lose, you simply can't think straight. You can't execute your plan properly. All right. Less trades equals less emotional noise and cleaner thinking. Okay. If you're an aggressive trader where you are profitable and you've seen your data be profitable with aggressive trading, that's fine, okay? But if you're a trader where you've been pretty conservative and then all of a sudden you start taking a lot of trades, right, where it looks like this, there's too much noise, all right? You're not trading how you used to, where it was nice and smooth, right? You're starting to trade differently and it's cooking your trading, okay? It's ruining your profits, all right? So normally in that case, less trades, which is less emotional noise, okay, equals cleaner thinking. Cleaner thinking equals executing your plan a whole lot better, all right? So we've got here overtrading mindset. So thinks that more trades equals more profits, which couldn't be further from the truth. They have no confidence in their plan at all, okay? They're taking trades that they're just totally not confident in. And they're taking B-grade setups, all right? They're taking trades that aren't fully a part of their plan and some pieces are missing of it and they're just taking it just for the sake of trying to see their equity curve grow, okay? Which is totally incorrect, all right? Discipline mindset, all right? So what the mindset that you should be having when you're trading. Understanding that more trades does not equal more profits, all right? Totally correct. Just because you trade 100 times versus someone who trades 10 times, the person trading 10 times could be a whole lot more profitable than the person trading 100, okay? Discipline mindset, they have full confidence in their system, okay? They don't care if they go on a 5-trade losing streak, all right? If their equity curve looks like this, right? And they go through a 5-trade losing streak, they understand that they have a profitable system and they have an edge and that this over the longer period of time will be profitable, all right? They'll make money, okay? Only takes trades that are within their plan, right? They have a checklist, okay? And each trade of that checklist must be ticked off before they can take a trade, okay? If there's one thing that's not ticked off, the whole trade doesn't happen, all right? That order doesn't get placed, that trade doesn't exist, okay? They're only taking trades that are within their plan, all right? So make sure you're making this psychological shift, okay? If you're too scared to risk, a certain amount, don't trade with that, right? That's too much. All right, now I'm going to show you a trade that does not fit my plan, all right? A trade that I wouldn't take. I would have used to have taken, but I wouldn't take now, okay? So let's mark out our structure quickly. So we've got high here, low, high, okay? We can also mark out this low, all right? Then from here, I'm happy to take this range here, all right? This range right here, okay? And then from there, what I would do is I would mark out my fib, okay? And then is this a break of structure? I mean, my rules is a candle close and that's almost touching. If not, it is touching. If not, it isn't. But like my point is that it's so close to touching that it could be verified as a break of structure, okay? It's a candle close. It's a break of structure, all right? So what I would do is I would place my place my entry right here, okay? And then from here, I get stopped out, right? And there's a few things wrong with this trade, okay? First off, the trend here isn't so clear, all right? I'd say this is clear enough for me to check the trade, but so we can tick that off, okay? That for me is a ticked off the thing. Next thing being the break of structure, all right? Is this really a break of structure? Is this a strong break of structure? It's not, okay? It's simply not. This violates my plan and I shouldn't have taken this, all right? But when I was over trading, this was a good enough trade for me to take. It had a break of structure. It had some fair value gaps here and there, and that's it, all right? So this is a trade that I would have taken in the past, but now I know to stick to my plan. I'm not taking this anymore, right? I would have taken it in the past. I'm not anymore. The playbook filter, what is it, all right? Every trade must match a specific structure before entry, okay? It's a checklist, all right? You're checking things off and seeing if it fits within your plan, all right? It's literally as simple as that. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't exist. That trade idea does not exist, okay? You shouldn't be taking it. It doesn't fit your plan. It doesn't exist in your trading world, okay? If it misses one thing, let's say here, and it misses this thing, this whole thing is scrapped, okay? This whole thing is a no. You're not taking the trade regardless of anything, okay? You're just simply not taking the trade, all right? Saying no to a trade is a skill that most traders never develop, okay? You'd be surprised. A lot of people can spot these things, right? But they'll be surprised how your brain changes the way that you think and changes the way you look at the charts, okay? From here, like let's say market structure here. And then over time, you're starting to take too literal some things like this, where this is a break of structure. Like, is it really a break of structure? Is price really moving downwards here? Okay. Is that really moving downwards? You're taking it too literal, all right? So you got to understand that everything has to fit your plan, all right? Saying no is a very important skill, okay? It's a very important skill to have in trading. It's the same as patience. They're basically the same thing, all right? Being patient, understanding that every trade, it must fit my checklist. Every part of my checklist must be ticked off. If this is all ticked off, then I can take the trade. I'm allowed to put an order down, okay? If there's a single thing that is not part of your plan, okay, then you leave it, all right? Unless it's like written specifically. For me, I don't need liquidity sweeps every single time, but 95% of the time I want it, okay? That's a part of my plan, all right? If I know that the trend is so strong, I don't really need this liquidity sweep, all right? But for me, a fair value gap is always needed, okay? So when this is not in the trade, the whole trade idea is scrapped, regardless of how good the trend is, regardless of how good the break structure is, and regardless of how good the liquidity sweep is, all right? This point on, as long as these things are met, I'm taking the trade, all right? If this is not met, I'm not taking the trade. All right, here we've got NZJPY again. All right, I'm gonna go through the whole trade, all right, and why it's a valid trade, okay? So first off, we mark out our structure. So we've got our high, low, high, and then low here, okay? Then from here, I'm happy with this trend here, all right? We can see that trend is moving this way, all right? Although trend has been moving this way previously, as long as price isn't like this, okay, then the trend is normally fine for me, all right? Price is like this, I can't see it at all. It's not moving anywhere. It's just totally sideways. That I'm not taking, all right? So we've marked out our structure, okay? Then we mark out our breaker structure. So yep, we have a pretty strong breaker structure here. We have a small liquidity sweep here, okay? Liquidity sweep. So I put my fib on. I enter at the 0.75 fib level, all right? And then we hit take profit within hours, okay? How quick was that, right? We got tagged in, we get tagged out. Like end of day, you've made money, all right? You've made 3 RI. So this is a valid setup and it checks all of my requirements and my checklists in general, all right? So it's a valid setup. Here we've got USD JPY and I'm showing you another valid setup, all right? So first off, can we see the trend? The trend is obvious, all right? So let's mark out our structure. So we've got here high, low, and then from here, honestly, this is the high, okay? This isn't a major enough high for this to overtake that, all right? So from here, this is the trade that I would take. This is a valid trade to me. So we have a breaker structure here, all right? We have a liquidity sweep here, pretty strong liquidity sweep. What I do is I enter off the fib here at 0.75 level, okay? And we get tapped in, we get close to hitting break even, but not close enough, and the trade is taken, all right? Price had moved up. The reason I wouldn't have taken this trade, this is not strong enough breaker structure to me, so at this point, this is why I think that this is the major swing point, okay? That's why I use this fib here, these 2 points here for the fib, right? Price had come down and we'd shot up and hit take profit, all right? So all the things were met in my plan, all right? We've got fair value gaps here, okay? We've got our swing points here, a good breaker structure, yep. We've got very obvious trend, all right? We can see here the trend, it's very bullish, okay? So happy to take it. And then we've got, yeah, so we said fair value gap, and then price had come in, tagged in, and hit take profit, all right? It hit all my checklist. Everything was ticked off. Another valid trade that I would take 10 out of 10 times. What does my trading look like now, okay? So what my trading looks like personally, 10 to 20 trades per month, all right? Very loose guide, but if I'm taking something like 40 plus trades like I did when I was really over trading, then I know it's too much, right? I know I shouldn't be doing that. 20 to 25 really is my like maximum, okay? But if I'm hitting 30 plus, I know I'm doing something wrong, all right? When I'm taking around 50 trades, I'm taking double the amount of trades, okay? That's something I'm doing wrong. 2% risk, because even though I'm not using as many trades, okay, I could be taking 50 trades or 100 trades, right? Risking 1%. But while I'm risking 2% with better setups, I'm still getting sort of the same reward as if I was taking 20 to 40 trades, right? With 1% risk, okay? So that's why I'm risking 2%. I don't trade as much, but the higher risk for the higher quality setups for me works out really well, all right? Only setups that follow the playbook get touched, all right? Only setups that follow the playbook will ever get orders placed, okay? If it doesn't follow the playbook, doesn't follow my checklist, I'm never taking it, all right? I'm not taking it. And if I do, and I write it up in my journal, and I'll understand that I need to do better to not do it next time, all right? So only setups that follow the checklist, all right? Remember, if there's not a single thing that gets checked off, all right? If these two get checked off and this one doesn't, you're not taking a trade, all right? It's as simple as that. And this is what my monthly would look like, all right? So we can see here, we've got our trading days here, okay? There are weeks where I can be taking 3 trades a week, all right? There are weeks where I'm taking 1 trade a week, okay? There are weeks where I'm taking 4 trades a week, all right? It can be very random. It can be, it's totally like, there's a variance in it, of course, all right? So I'm not taking a trade every second day like I am here. I'm not taking a trade every single day like I am here. I'm not taking only one trade a week, all right? It can be totally different, all right? It can be totally different, okay? It doesn't need to be the same point every single time, okay? I don't need to be taking a trade every day, that kind of thing, okay? That's what it looks like, totally random. That's what happens when I'm patient for valid setups, okay? These are all the valid setups, right? There might not be a valid setup here, okay? There might not be a valid setup here, right? This might have gone close, but it wasn't a valid setup, okay? This is what my trading looks like now. Less trading, fixed my profits, and more importantly, my mindset for future trading, okay? Fewer trades means each one is higher quality, all right? If you're taking trades that are only within your valid setup, all right, rather than B grade trades, you can see your equity curve moving forwards, all right? But if you're taking trades that are B grade, you can definitely see your equity curve moving up, but you could also see it moving down just as bad, all right? And going nowhere, okay? Your edge is determined on your high quality setups, okay? Your A plus setups, the setups that you would take 10 out of 10 times, all right? If you're starting to take B grade setups, you're starting to drift lower and you can be taking C grade, D grade, stuff that doesn't even really fit your plan, all right? So higher quality setups, okay? You stop trading to make money and you start trading for your plan, okay? This is also a very important concept. Making money, of course, in trading is great, but as soon as you start thinking about it, you start thinking about making money and how much money you can make, your mind is in the wrong place and you're going to find it very hard to actually make money, all right? Surprisingly enough, the more you think about it, the less you'll make, okay? The more you start thinking about trading your plan and having your system in processes in check, okay? The money will obviously follow. The money, if you've got an edge and you're profitable, the money will follow, okay? So stop trading to make money and start trading to trade your plan, okay? The profits, they follow the process, okay? It's not the other way around, all right? Chasing the money means you're less likely to trade your plan, okay? Trading your plan means you're more likely to make money afterwards, all right? After you're following your plan, okay? This is what a disciplined year could look like for you, all right? There are ups and downs, there are stagnant periods as well, okay? But at the end of the year, okay, this is the start of the year, this is the end of the year, okay? From here on, you could be making 30 RR, all right? And then times that by 2% risk, you're making 60% a year, okay? That is amazing returns, all right? That's a discipline year. That's what a discipline year could look like for you. An overtrading year where, yeah, you could be at 30 RR here, right? But you've dropped down back to 10 RR, right? Back up to 30 and then back down to 5 RR, okay? Your trading is just going all over the place. You're taking B grade setups, all right? Not ideal. Obviously, you shouldn't do it, okay? So the less you're thinking about trying to make money and trying to overtrade and trying to trade more for more money, the worse, like the more you do that, the worse it'll get, all right? The more you start thinking about trading your plan and trading your system, okay, the more money you'll make, okay? You'd be very, very surprised to how that works.